Hi, welcome back to the A&S Way. Today's video is about
carpets and flooring.
quite simply.
It really is. It is a continuation of our video series of our home buying experience in the USA, which has been super interesting. And if you're interested in it, go back and watch our previous videos. I think we've probably got 4 or 5 out now, and it takes you from trying to work out how to get a mortgage here when you have no credit, all the way through to putting down our earnest deposit money on our first new construction or new build for the UK people property. At this stage now, we have gone through all of the design, paying our money for the deposit, and we are at the point we're choosing the flooring for the home. So one of the really nice things here is you get lots of options on how to finish the inside of the home, and that includes, you can break it down so you have a few tiles here, some carpet there, some laminate here, but every choice costs you money. So we thought we'd take you through our thought process and how much that's cost us.
The first thing to start off with is what comes as standard with the home. And actually, I think we thought we would be fine with a lot of the standard, or at least he did,
Yeah.
I should say. So, and with that is the kitchen area, the main hallway, and I think the kitchen area, the main hallway, and wet areas, so that's all the bathrooms, utility, are tiled as standard, and all the other areas is carpet. So there's only 2 standard options: carpet and tiling. So carpet to kind of like bedrooms, living room, loft area, stairs, and anything that's considered like a wet room,
or
main entrance,
high traffic
is tiles. So this is where our journey of picking our flooring starts.
Yeah, and it's, again, like with all of the other stuff, you have to change your mindset when you're here. So actually in the UK, tiling is considered a premium, and it's an upgrade that lots of people choose to have. Here, as you mentioned, in the high traffic and wet areas, that's the standard. Now, their standard tile options aren't great. They're 18 by 18 inches, very plain, they're beige, they're grey. So instead of it being this premium feeling thing, it's kind of, we'll just slap that down because it's easy. And that's where you come into that. Do I really want my home to look like that? Do I really want to spend weeks having someone come and dig it all up because it's now on the floor and attached? No. So we ended up spending way more than I originally thought.
And this came to, so when we got there, we had a look at what the standard tile was, and I think Ant thought the standard tile wasn't terrible, but we picked a grey and thought, oh no, that's going to be fine in the hall, in the kitchen. But then the weirdest thing is, and if you've seen the video of our home, like when we've done the home tour, you kind of come in at the side and then you turn right, and then you get the kind of like the great room, as they call it, dining room, and then kitchen. And
pantry area and entrance to garage. So I know exactly where you're going. It is weird in a way for English people. For the US, I would say they are very good with home design, and they make it feel quite cohesive and it flows. Even where the entrance comes in and it flows into the living area or the great room, it's just this one sweeping room, and that adds its complexities when you're choosing the flooring.
And this is because what they had done is the standard was the tiling to that hallway, which you would expect, but then the great room, which is where you would have your sofa and your TV, was carpeted all the way through the dining area up until the edge of the island, to which then it would change to the tile. And that's the bit that I found super strange, because you would be sat at your dining table or at the island on carpet, and then even to get to your backyard, your garden, you'd be walking on carpet. So imagine having friends around, you've got carpet there, and then tiling the kitchen.
For you, it'll be really easy because I'll have this up on screen and I'll show you the areas. So what Sally's explaining is you'll go tile, carpet, tile, and you'll visibly be able to see that, and it creates this fractured look in the home.
And I don't know what you guys are like, but I don't like people walking on carpet with shoes. Generally in the home, I like people to take their shoes off anyway, but then at least with tiles, you don't mind people keeping their shoes because you can just clean it really easily. But then this concept is you've got tile, then you walk onto carpet, then I just didn't.
I laugh because in one of your old videos we had this comment. I can't remember. It feels like it was ages ago. It must have been on the original channel. I remember somebody commented saying that's a poor people thing. He basically said only poor people ask people to take their shoes off, and he related it to being in poor countries like India or Africa continent and having dirt outside, which is really ludicrous.
Like,
but
you walk your shoes out everywhere. Like that's just like no. Like, you
it's such a
weird
weird comment. Anyway.
So that was part of the discussion. So we then went into the design centre and we looked at the upgrades of flooring, and they do have some really nice options, and we did find one that we really liked. And then this is where they can start configuring the price, and this is where, as Anton's saying, then the price starts to stack up because
configuring the price.
Not configuring, but you get the calculator. So she put options in, kind of like if you want that flooring in the kitchen or in the dining area,
got you.
or in the hallway, how much it's going to be. So Ant's initial thing was, okay, let's just do it to the hallway, the dining and the kitchen, but then keep carpet in the great room, which meant you would have just, again, if it's up on the screen, you'll see you would have had just this weird bit of carpet. And in my mind, I would have just had this really nice flooring, just like the model home, all throughout the bottom, which makes it just easier, it flows nicer, you can clean it. But of course, with that comes a price factor.
Yeah. So what I'll show on the screen now is each of the rooms is numbered, each of the areas are numbered, and everything that has a number can have a different floor. So whether that's carpet, laminate, wood, whatever. So you start building up this, how do I maximize the visual appeal but minimize the cost? And it is quite difficult when you've got one huge room that flows. Really easy when it's a bedroom because you just shut the door and it's a different room. Most of the downstairs you can't shut off though. So we ended up settling on what would be, what's it called? Engineered laminate or high something laminate. Now, when you hear laminate, and especially if you're of a certain age, maybe over 30, you remember lino laminate for the bathrooms, which is horrific. Nowadays, engineered laminate is as expensive as plank wood or engineered wood. It is a very, very expensive option, but what you do get is really high consistency with how it looks, because it's like a high-res printed on top of the engineered laminate, as well as waterproof, longevity. They're very, very difficult to scratch.
Yeah, I love it just for maintenance. It's not got that maintenance of wood, but also cleaning.
Super easy.
I love it.
So we ended up with, we'll start with the amount. It's not hugely expensive, but still expensive. It's $13,665 worth of flooring in there. Now that's only made up of two things. So we upgraded the pad, or underlay as we know it in the UK, the bit that goes under the carpet that makes it feel nice. Throughout the house, that was a $477 upgrade. And you'll see on the screen, there's a list of all of the rooms that this applies to, or all of the areas. We also upgraded the direction of the tiling to the master bathroom, so we went for a 33% stagger. So yeah, one tile and then 33% after that tile below will be over, so it gives it just a little bit of a different feel, and feels like we've upgraded a bit, but the tiling itself is free, you're just paying for that. And then the rest of the cost, the other $13,064 was for this engineered laminate to the entire downstairs except for the fourth bedroom.
Yeah, and I would say I was very happy with that. So just to recap, so we went for that for, as Anton had said, but for the bedroom downstairs we had carpet. The wet room areas all went for the standard tiling, and then the only other upgrade was the formation of those tiles in the master bathroom. And I would say I was very happy with our selections in the end because I got the flooring I like downstairs.
Yeah, I would be much happier if we could have exactly the style of floor that we would like, but the price just runs out of control. As an example, to have the stairs would be between 10 and 40,000, I think Michael said at the salesperson, depending on what you want. The stairs are obviously quite complex for somebody to come in and do. So if you think, let's go 20,000 just for the staircase. Now, if you wanted to do engineered laminate throughout the rest, you would be well into the $60,000, $70,000 to do the rest of the home, I would imagine. It's very, very expensive, particularly if you went for the wood option as they did in the show home. So bearing in mind the laminate for us costs 13,000, the real wood option would be probably double that cost.
And I would say to that point, I think if the budget was no issue and we were going to be in this home forever or for a very long time, I probably would have upgraded the master bathroom flooring to something different. Maybe the stairs, because it's a high traffic area, I wouldn't have picked carpet there possibly, and then maybe to the other bathrooms as well. But I think considering how long we're going to be here, on balance, I think we've made the right option.
Yeah, we've definitely made the right choice. Anywhere that's carpeted, super easy. That's what we forgot to mention. So what swung me in the end to agreeing to this crazy figure
was your love for me and how much it would make me happy.
No, it was because everywhere that we wanted this down, if we didn't option it, was tile. Now, unlike carpet, which I would have said just do all of the carpet, we could do it. You literally just pull it up and then it's the floor, and then somebody can come in with your wood or your laminate and they lay it, and you're only paying them once. If they tile it, we have to pay for the tile to be pulled up, which is a lot of money, and then you have to pay for the disposal. It's a product that isn't that easy to get rid of. Not anyone can do it, and you don't want to damage the floor. You might have to then re-engineer the floor or prepare the surface again. So we were kind of forced not to do it for the simple fact that tiling existed.
What a shame.
Yeah, so so we ended up going for this option. But you're right, I'm really happy with the look of the flooring that we've gone, and I'm happy that it flows really well and we haven't got this fragmented. I think I would have really liked to upgrade the bathroom tiling, but again, you're looking at multiple thousands to have them do the tiling. We looked at just changing the way the tiles were ordered in the other rooms, and it was thousands.
Oh, it is a lot.
Same tiling, just in a different way, and they wanted like $3,000-$4,000 just to do that. So we settled.
So that was the flooring options that we picked. As Anton said, it came up to around like 13,000. So the one thing to note with this, with the flooring, up to $15,000 of your flooring can go onto the mortgage. So it's not something that you have to pay a percentage of or you have to pay separately, up to $15,000. So in our case, the full cost of this flooring is going onto the mortgage.
Which has its downsides because, of course, 13 grand over 30 years is no longer 13 grand. It's more like 40, 50,000. But it does make it a lot easier to manage up front. Whereas the other costs, which I don't think we've mentioned in the other videos, so you put down a deposit or your earnest money for the home to effectively reserve it and get to put in your options. All of the other options you have to pay 50%. So if you choose 20,000 worth of options, you have to pay them 10,000 up front. The other 10,000 can go onto the mortgage at the end, but they want their money, which is about costs because there's usually a markup of 100%. So you pay 50% of that up front. So for anybody that's thinking about building a home and putting in tons of options, you can't just roll this into the mortgage. You have to have the cash available.
And available pretty quickly after.
5 days.
Yeah.
You get to pay it.
So just really consider, we had to pay 10,000 earnest deposit as soon as we knew we wanted the home, and then another 10,000 because our design centre options came up to 20,000. So we've had to pay another 10,000
in the space of a couple of weeks. So 20,200 and something within 2 weeks. So
yeah, and funny story about that, we had to do this by cheque. And I think I mentioned this in the other video, but I screwed up the first cheque and had to throw that away, so I had to write another one. And today I literally just paid for the options, and in the end I just got the guy to write it because I didn't trust myself. I'm running out of cheques.
Yeah, you think a cheque shouldn't be that complex, but they seem to be for us youngsters.
Oh, and another thing, Bank of America.
That's not even.
I'll save that for another one, but basically they cancelled my cheque and it caused a whole palaver. So.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But hopefully this one's nice, short and sweet over the flooring. Hopefully you found it really useful, and if you're looking to buy a house, it gives you some tips of what to do, what not to do. Basically, just listen to whoever wants the best flooring option.
Yeah, and in this video we'll also add a list really itemizing the cost of what this house is, because we've shared in the other videos that base price, the lot premium, the structural options that we couldn't pick that were part of that initial cost. Then we have the design center options, which were 20,000, plus this flooring at 13,000. So we will list the final cost currently, but I say it's final, but it's not really final because we still have to do the electrical.
Oh, yeah.
So that's coming in the next video, where we'll explain the electrical options that we have selected.
That's a good point, actually.
It just keeps going, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but if you haven't already, please do not forget to subscribe, hit that like button, tell us what you think, because this might sound complex now to you with all these options and all these numbers and all these things that we need to keep selecting. We are getting there. There's just another round of videos on the electrical and we should get to our final cost.
Yeah. If I had to take a guess, I'm saying it's around 700,000 is the total cost, but we don't know the overall.
Oh, yeah.
So from dirt to completion, I reckon 700,000.
Yeah, I mean, you are literally coming on this journey. You are as wise as we are at this point as to the final cost, and we will share that in the next video. But yeah, comment as usual. Thanks for watching.